am Radhakrishnan, and with me, my colleague Sri Alok Srivastava are bringing to you the live coverage of the GSLV D6 GSAT 6 launch from the Mission Control Center MCC of Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota, the only spaceport of India in the southern part. Today's GSLV D6 launch is a very significant one for the GSLV program and in the overall context to the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. GSLV D6 is the 9th flight of GSLV and the 5th developmental flight in the series. GSLV D6 will use the indigenously developed cryogenic stage as its upper stage, and this will be the third time the indigenously developed cryogenic stage is being used in the GSLV flight. If you may recall, last year during January 2014, we had the successful flight of GSLV D5, wherein the indigenously developed cryogenic upper stage was successfully flight tested for the first time, which eventually led to placing GSAT-14 communication satellite very precisely in its intended GTO orbit. Today's flight is the second developmental flight with indigenous cryogenic upper stage, and at the countdown, we are at minus 30 minutes for the launch. If you look at the countdown, the 29 hours countdown for the mission began yesterday, and the final phase of countdown operations are progressing quite smoothly. In fact, though the weather was very clear in the afternoon, just few minutes back, we saw some light showers in the launch base, but things are looking very good. The 49-meter tall GSLV vehicle is standing at the umbilical tower, UT as we call it, of the second launch pad, few kilometers away from the Mission Control Center, from where we are presently seated. The vehicle is getting ready for takeoff at 16:52 hours Indian Standard Time, which as per GMT will be 11:22 hours. And the total launch window for the mission is about 2 hours 30 minutes.
नमस्ते, शुभ संध्या। मैं आलोक श्रीवास्तव अपने वैज्ञानिक साथी श्री राधा कृष्णन जी के साथ आप सभी दर्शकों का हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। हम इस समय आंध्र प्रदेश के नेल्लूर जिले के श्रीहरिकोटा में स्थित इसरो के सतीश धवन अंतरिक्ष केंद्र अभियान नियंत्रण केंद्र से आपको आंखों देखा हाल प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं। आज GSLV D6 द्वारा बहुप्रतीक्षित GSAT-6 उपग्रह का प्रक्षेपण दूसरे लॉन्च पैड से किया जाएगा। जी हां, ये वही उपग्रह है जिसमें इसरो पहली बार स्वदेशी क्रायोजेनिक इंजन युक्त भू-स्थितित प्रक्षेपण यान GSLV D5 के ठीक 19 महीनों के बाद की नवी उड़ान और GSLV की 5वीं विकासात्मक उड़ान है। यह इसरो का एक ऐसा अभियान है जिसमें स्वदेशी तकनीक से विकसित क्रायोजेनिक इंजन का प्रयोग हमारे तकनीकी विकास की कहानी स्वतः ही बयान करेगा। इसमें हम क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज का तीसरी बार उपयोग करेंगे। GSAT-6 को भारतीय समय अनुसार आज अपराह्न 4:52 पर प्रक्षेपित किया जाना है। 2117 किलोग्राम भारी GSAT-6 उपग्रह, जिसका शुष्क भार 985 किलोग्राम है, I2 के स्पेसक्राफ्ट बस पर आधारित इस उपग्रह में सी बैंड तथा एस बैंड ट्रांसपॉन्डर लगाए गए हैं। आइए आपको हम एक GSAT-6 उपग्रह से संबंधित वीडियो क्लिपिंग दिखाते हैं।
So we will bring to you a pre-recorded video documentary on the highlights of Indian space program with special emphasis on the GSAT-6 satellite and its application, details on GSLV launcher and the engineers developed cryogenic stage. Documentary, please.
One of the major objectives of Indian space program has been to achieve self-reliance in developing and launching of its satellites. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, develops the space technology that provides space-based support to various national tasks. The INSAT and the GSAT series of satellites cater to our assorted needs of communication, like TV broadcasting, mobile communications, video conferencing, distress alert services, disaster management and meteorological services. Whereas the IRS series of satellites are meant for resource monitoring and management. A nascent addition to the Indian space system is the IRNSS, which shall focus on the National Navigation Services. The latest satellite from the clean rooms of ISRO is the GSAT-6 spacecraft. GSAT-6 is a member of the legendary club of the Indian National Satellite System, known as the INSAT family. The INSAT, or GSAT satellites as we know them, are considered as the backbone to our satellite-based communication services. The GSAT-6 is presented with a host of new and contemporary features. GSAT-6 is a S-band satellite. It will provide communication services in S-band within the Indian mainland through its multi-beam coverage facility. The satellite to be used by strategic users. GSAT-6 will be located at 83° east longitudinal location at a height of 36,000 kilometers from the Earth. The S-band payloads of GSAT-6 are designed and developed at the Space Applications Center, Ahmedabad, in order to provide communication links for voice, video, data, and maps to strategic users. The payloads are using a 6-meter S-band unfurlable antenna and a 0.8-meter C-band antenna. Other advanced feature of the satellite is its 70-volt bus, which is flying first time for the Indian communication satellite. The ground segment hardware consists of ground communication equipment along with hub and umbrella network management system that provide connectivity between the users in different beams. For the strategic users, this will ensure a seamless 24/7 and a reliable communication in any weather condition. In addition, during a natural calamity, for instance, this satellite will provide cutting-edge technology to India and put the satellite-based communication to the newer heights. It would be interesting to know that one of the special and advanced features of GSAT-6 satellite is its 6-meter S-band unfurlable antenna. This is the largest satellite antenna realized for the INSAT or GSAT by ISRO. Building such a huge antenna called for special skills and efforts from our scientists and engineers, who introduced the element of unfurlability in an otherwise conventionally rigid antenna. Larger the size of satellite antenna, better is the transmission and lesser is the need of power, which eventually increases the effective life of a satellite. The antenna shall be utilized for 5 spot beams over the Indian mainland. The 982 kilogram satellite is assembled at the ISRO Satellite Center, Bangalore, in its state-of-the-art facility. The satellite will have a lift-off mass of 2,117 kilograms. Once fully assembled and tested, the satellite reaches Satish Dhawan Space Center, the spaceport of ISRO at Sriharikota. Here, it again has to pass through few more checks before it is finally integrated with the launch vehicle. Majestically standing on the launch pad and looking high is the geosynchronous launch vehicle of ISRO, a 3-stage launch vehicle system designed to launch 2-ton class satellites into geosynchronous transfer orbit. The first stage of the launch vehicle consists of a solid core with 4 liquid strap-on motor. The second stage is a liquid stage, and the upper stage uses cryogenic propulsion. The cryogenic upper stage of GSLV carries 12.5 tons of cryogenic propellants, namely liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen in two separate tanks. The liquid oxygen is the oxidizer and is stored at -183 degrees Celsius, while the liquid hydrogen is stored at -253 degrees Celsius. These fluids at such low temperature are preferred due to their ability to produce maximum thrust and energy that is required to carry heavier payloads to the orbit. You may recall that developing our own cryogenic engine was taken as a challenge by a scientist and engineer, which then turned into a mission for them by putting in unremitting efforts. Today, we have GSLV D6, which will be the 9th flight of the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle of ISRO and the 3rd flight with the indigenous cryogenic stage of our country. Let's recall the words of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, the father of Indian space program, who some 53 years back had this to say.
In my opinion, the aspect of space research which I would like to stress most is in relation to the national capability, the self-confidence that this will generate. And if I were to give my own evaluation of this, I think the benefits of these far outweigh all the rest that we have been talking about.
Welcome back. The countdown at -20 minutes. In the next 1 minute, we will hear from the mission director about the authorization being given to the vehicle. So at T-30 minutes, the real-time steering program, which has been generated based on the few hours of measured wind profile, has been loaded onto the onboard computer from the launcher. The countdown is at -19 minutes 42 seconds. In fact, just few minutes back, it has started raining a bit heavily in the launch base, but things are looking quite good and green.
अभी कुछ ही क्षणों पश्चात प्रक्षेपण की अनुमति की घोषणा करेंगे मिशन डायरेक्टर। और यहाँ पे बहुत तेजी से बारिश हो रही है, सुबह से इसका अंदाज लगाया जा रहा था।
So all eyes on the mission director giving authorization for the launch. So we are just going through the final phase of authorization by various mission executives.
और इस तरीके से मिशन डायरेक्टर ने
So at T-19 minutes, T-19 minutes, the mission director has just authorized the launch confirmation to the vehicle director to proceed with the further launch operations. In fact, this authorization is given based on the readiness of the various systems, the launcher, which is given by the vehicle director, the satellite from the spacecraft director, the range systems by ROD, range operations director, and telemetry tracking and command network, TTC, responsible, these are all the mission executives who give authorization to the vehicle director in terms giving to the mission director for going ahead with the further operations.
जी हाँ, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण क्षण होता है, जबकि आपने देखा अभी मिशन डायरेक्टर ने T-19 मिनट पे जब ऑथराइज कर दिया, अनुमति दे दी प्रक्षेपण की, tracking, telecommand, electronics, interface systems, instrumentation, computers, range safety, range, track, satellite साइड से, vehicle साइड से, सभी के गहन अध्ययन के बाद ये अनुमति प्रदान की जाती है। आज प्रक्षेपण स्थल पर आसमान में घने बादल छाए हुए थे, ऐसा लग रहा था कि बारिश होगी और हमने देखा कि प्रक्षेपण के कुछ ही समय पहले तक बारिश लगातार होती रही। चारों तरफ पूरी तरह से हमारा यान भीग चुका था, मगर जैसे उसे तैयार कर दिया गया हो प्रक्षेपण के लिए। और आज ज़मीन पर हवा की गति भी खासी थी, लेकिन इससे रफ्तार से बहने वाली हवा से यान को किसी भी तरह की कोई खतरा नहीं था। वायुमंडल में पृथ्वी से कुछ ऊंचाई पर मापी गई वायु गति कार्यक्रम के अनुसार भी जरूरत पड़ने पे अभिकल्पित पुनः अभिकल्पित किया जा सकता है, पर ऐसे किसी कोई आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ी और इस तरीके से सभी गतिविधियां सामान्य रूप से जारी हैं।
Minus 16 minutes. So the next important event that is going to come up is at minus 14 minutes when we enter the automatic launch sequence based on the authorization. And in fact, after giving the authorization to initiate the automatic launch sequence, at T minus 12 minutes, the automatic launch sequence program gets initiated. And from this event onwards, the vehicle level operations are taken care by the onboard computer system, including all decision making and issue of commands. As I told you, we have a planned liftoff at 16:52 hours, which is minus 15 minutes 32 seconds from now. And at the opening of the launch window is 16:52 with a liftoff launch window of nearly 2 hours 30 minutes. So barring any unforeseen event, we expect the launch to take place at the beginning of the launch window itself. A view of the launcher at the umbilical tower. I think the rain has just stopped and things are looking good now.
जी हाँ, अभी बारिश का हल्का हल्का रूप जो दिखाई पड़ रहा था बिल्कुल नॉर्मल हो चुका है। सामान्य इस समय बारिश लगभग बंद हो चुकी है। हम प्रक्षेपण से 15 मिनट की दूरी पर, काउंटडाउन की सारी गतिविधियां आबाद रूप से जारी हैं। सभी वैज्ञानिक अपने आंकड़ों पर नजर जमाए हुए। श्रीहरिकोटा के इस प्रक्षेपण केंद्र में उपग्रह प्रक्षेपण से संबंधित सारी सुविधाएं उपलब्ध हैं, फिर चाहे वो निम्न कक्षा, ध्रुवीय कक्षा के उपग्रह हों या भूस्थैतिक अंतरण कक्षा में छोड़े जाने वाले उपग्रह। इस प्रक्षेपण परिसर में प्रमोचन यान के संयोजन से लेकर ईंधन के भंडारण, उसके यान भरने, चेकआउट और प्रक्षेपण क्रियाकलापों से संबंधित सारी सुविधाएं यहां मौजूद हैं। इसके अलावा पृथ्वी के वातावरण अध्ययन के लिए साउंडिंग रॉकेटों का प्रक्षेपण भी यहीं से होता है। प्रथम प्रक्षेपण स्थल और उसके बाद द्वितीय प्रक्षेपण स्थल जहां से ये प्रक्षेपण होना है आज, ये द्वितीय प्रक्षेपण जो स्थल है वो उपग्रह प्रक्षेपण हेतु तथा अगले प्रक्षेपण के शीघ्र समायोजन के लिए है। हम आपको बताते चलें कि अगले माह पीएसएलवी की सारी तैयारियां जो हैं प्रथम प्रक्षेपण स्थल पर चल रही हैं। ये द्वितीय एक अतिरिक्त सुविधा है जो समायोजन, अंतरण एवं प्रक्षेपण के सिद्धांत पर आधारित है।
We just heard the authorization being given for automatic launch sequence to be engaged to take approximately another 2 minutes when the ALS automatic launch sequence exactly get engaged.
जी हाँ, इस समय हम लगभग 13 मिनट 25 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं और आइए हम इस समय मिशन कंट्रोल सेंटर के अंदर का दृश्य आप जो देख पा रहे हैं अपने स्क्रीन पर, विभिन्न वैज्ञानिक, वरिष्ठ वैज्ञानिक सभी हमारे साथ इस समय प्रक्षेपण का आंखों देखा हाल देखने के लिए बिल्कुल सामने प्रक्षेपण यान बड़े गर्व से खड़ा हुआ। लगभग 12 मिनट 50 सेकंड की दूरी इस भूस्थैतिक प्रक्षेपण यान जीएसएलवी, जिसे 3 चरणों में बनाया गया है। प्रथम चरण ठोस ईंधन हाइड्रोक्सिल टर्मिनेटेड पॉलीब्यूटाडाइन एचटीपीबी वाला S139 है, जिसका विशिष्ट संवेग 166 सेकंड है तथा प्रणोद 4700 किलो न्यूटन है। इसका प्रज्वलन काल लगभग 100 सेकंड है। प्रथम चरण में ठोस ईंधन वाली मोटर के साथ ही चारों ओर 4 स्ट्रैप ऑन बूस्टर भी संयोजित हैं। प्रत्येक लगभग L40H विकास टू इंजन मोटर जिसका प्रणोद 680 किलो न्यूटन तथा विशिष्ट संवेग 262 सेकंड है। इसमें अनसिमेट्रिकल डाइमिथाइल हाइड्रोजन UDMH UH25 को ईंधन के रूप में तथा N2O4 नाइट्रोजन टेट्राऑक्साइड को ऑक्सीडाइजर के रूप में प्रयुक्त किया जाता है। इन द्रव ईंधन आधारित बूस्टर का प्रज्वलन काल लगभग 160 सेकंड है। द्वितीय चरण में विकास 4 इंजन जिसका प्रणोद 720 किलो न्यूटन तथा विशिष्ट संवेग 295 सेकंड है। इसका प्रज्वलन काल 150 सेकंड है, जिसमें पुनः एक बार UDMH को ईंधन के रूप में तथा N2O4 को ऑक्सीडाइजर के रूप में प्रयुक्त किया जाना है। तृतीय चरण में क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज CUS-12 इंजन 73.5 किलो न्यूटन प्रणोद के साथ विशिष्ट संवेग 450 सेकंड हमारे लिए बेहद महत्वपूर्ण है। आपको याद होगा कि GSLV Mark 1 में 12 के RB KVD1 नामक इंजन प्रयुक्त किया गया था।
So, minus 11 minutes, the automatic launch sequence has been engaged. Now, before we go through the long process of automatic launch sequence clearances, we will bring to you some of the GSLV launch campaign activities involving integration and various stage elements and satellite. So what you're seeing on your screen is the flagging off of the first hardware of the solid motor, which is the core stage of GSLV. It's called the core based route, and the first solid segment being moved to the vehicle assembly building of the second launch pad and being placed on mobile launch pedestal. As you are aware, the first solid stage of GSLV is a S139 ton stage, which has 5 segments. So after placing the first hardware, you will see the subsequent views. The segments are getting integrated on the mobile launch pedestal, and after all the 5 segments are assembled, you can see the next segment being integrated to the segment which is already placed on the mobile launch pedestal. So after completion of all the 5 segments, you will have the igniter assembly, thereby completing the first solid motor stage of GSLV.
जी हाँ, ये ठोस मोटर S139 है जिसे 5 घटकों से निर्मित किया गया है। इन्हें एक एक करके समायोजित किया जाता है मोबाइल टावर के साथ में, और ये आप बड़े ध्यान से देख पा रहे होंगे कि सारे वैज्ञानिक अभियंता जो हैं वो से एक साथ के ये इग्नाइटर असेंबली है जिसे धीरे धीरे नीचे उतार के और मोटर के साथ समायोजित कर दिया जाता है।
So after completing the first stage, what is being lowered now is the vented interstage. I will describe a little bit on this in the subsequent phase. And this is the 1/2M stage, the middle interstage. This interstage is basically used to connect the second stage to the first stage. Now on your screen is the liquid strap-ons. As you are aware, the first stage of GSLV comprises of a solid motor S139, which is strapped by 4 liquid strap-ons. So first of the liquid strap-on is being erected vertically and getting mated to the solid motor. So this process will be continued for the remaining 4 strap-ons.
जी हाँ, यही वो L40H विकास 2 इंजन है जिन्हें चारों ओर ठोस मोटर के चारों ओर लगा दिया जाता है। इसमें जैसा मैं आपको बता रहा था कि UDMH UH25 को ईंधन के रूप में और नाइट्रोजन टेट्राऑक्साइड को प्रयुक्त किया जाता है।
So after completing the first stage assembly with 4 liquid strap-ons, the second stage, which again is a liquid stage containing 39 tons of propellant, UH25 and N2O4, is being lifted up to be placed on the first stage. And with this assembly, we will complete the first 2 stages of the GSLV launch vehicle.
जी हाँ, तो ये प्रथम चरण जो थी वो एक कॉम्बिनेशन था जहाँ पे ठोस मोटर और द्रव का यूज किया जाता है, और द्वितीय जो चरण जो है वो द्रव इंजन वाली है। द्वितीय चरण में विकास 4 इंजन का प्रयोग किया जाता है।
This is the most complex, technologically complex cryogenic stage, which is the upper stage of GSLV. And in fact, if we look at the velocity addition that is given by this stage to the overall vehicle, it delivers almost 50% of the velocity that is required for the satellite to reach the orbit from the Earth. So integration of the indigenous cryogenic upper stage to the second stage, and what you're seeing on your screen is a GSAT-6 satellite in the satellite preparation facility, which is at the launch base undergoing various checkout operations as a part of pre-launch campaign activities.
जी हाँ, यही वो GSAT-6 उपग्रह है जहाँ पे क्लीन रूम में इसको पूरी तरह से तैयार कर लिया जाता है, फिर से एक बार परीक्षित किया जाता है, सोलर पैनल वगैरह को डिप्लॉय कर लिया जाता है, उनके सारे सेल्स के प्रदीप्त को चेक कर लिया जाता है, उसके बाद उसमें मोनोमिथाइल हाइड्रोजन और नाइट्रोजन के ऑक्साइड्स को भर लिया जाता है प्रणोदन के रूप में। उसके बाद जो सारे घटक हैं जैसे अनफर्लेबल एंटीना जो भारत पहली बार प्रयोग कर रहा है, सौर पट्टिकाएं दोनों तरफ समायोजित कर दी जाती हैं। फिर उसके बाद ये स्पेसक्राफ्ट फेयरिंग्स जो शील्ड है, पेलोड फेयरिंग शील्ड, उसे समायोजित कर दिया जाता है।
So unlike PSLV, the spacecraft gets assembled to the payload adapter in the clean room facility. It is encapsulated inside the payload fairing, and the entire encapsulated assembly with the satellite inside is taken to the launch pad and then finally placed on top of the launcher. If you look at the way the PSLV configuration, we have the satellite assembly on the launcher and the fairing closure. This is slightly a different concept, and the encapsulated assembly of GSAT-6 with payload fairing being put on the launcher. And after the vehicle is fully assembled, integrated and checked out, as you can see, the entire vehicle on mobile launch pedestal is being moved from the vehicle assembly building, and it will be finally parked in front of the umbilical tower. So the vehicle is being moved to the umbilical tower for final checkout operations. This activity in fact happened on the 19th of this month, and it's now positioned in front of the umbilical tower.
जी हाँ, तो 19 अगस्त को ख़त्म हुई ये प्रक्रिया। ऐसी थी जो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण थी, जहाँ पे पूरे का पूरा रॉकेट जो है वो एक तरह से असेंबल्ड फॉर्म में समायोजित रूप से वो उसे प्रक्षेपण स्थल तक पहुंचाया जाता है, जहाँ पे उसे अम्बिलिकल टावर्स के लगाने के बाद में प्रक्षेपण बोर्ड की जब अनुमति मिल जाती है, उसके बाद उल्टी गिनती शुरू होती है, जहाँ पे द्रव ईंधन को भरना शुरू किया जाता है।
So countdown is at -5 minutes, 43 seconds. A quick rundown of the countdown operations that began yesterday. So total countdown for this mission was 29 hours, which began yesterday, and the major operations during the countdown process involves primarily the electrical checkout and health check operations for the launch vehicle and the satellite, and most importantly the propellant filling operations of the liquid and cryogenic stage. So what you are seeing is the view of the mission control center with all the mission executives being seated. At the beginning of the countdown yesterday, the fuel and oxidizer were loaded into the second stage GS2, and once this got completed, the fuel loading in all the 4 liquid strap-ons were performed, which eventually was followed up with loading of the oxidizer in all the 4 liquid strap-on motors. In fact, all these operations got completed today very early morning, and just 4.5 hours from now, the filling of liquid oxygen in the cryogenic stage was initiated, and this operation lasted for nearly 2 hours. And 2 hours before, from where we are now, the loading of liquid hydrogen was initiated, and the operation lasted for nearly 1 hour. So now in GSLV we have totally 200 tons of unstorable liquid propellant and 12.5 tons of cryogenic propellant loaded into the launcher. So the countdown is at -4 minutes 25 seconds.
जी, हम करीब करीब 4 मिनट 20 सेकंड की दूरी पे हैं। दोस्तों, आपने गौर किया होगा कि प्रक्षेपण के ठीक पहले हम ठोस मोटर S139 के साथ संयोजित 4 स्टेप-ऑन बूस्टर्स अल्फा टीएच को प्रज्वलित कर देते हैं, और उसके बाद उसके कुछ क्षणों बाद S139 का प्रज्वलन होता है। That's the difference, Radhakrishnan ji, ki that strap-on gets ignited, and then after some time only that solid motor gets ignited.
Yes. Yes, Alok, you are right. I think maybe if you see one of the major difference that you see in PSLV from GSLV, in GSLV we have 4 liquid strap-ons. So once we have a liquid strap-ons, once the ignition command is given, it takes a finite time for it to build the thrust, and it has the flexibility in case the desired thrust is not reached. It has a flexibility to shut off the valves so that the engine can be cut off. Unlike the solid motor, which once ignited, it's difficult to control the thrust. So if you look at the liftoff sequence of GSLV, we have 4 liquid strap-ons. So these liquid strap-ons are ignited approximately at 4.8 seconds before the actual ignition of the S139. And after giving the ignition command, at 3 seconds later, after the ignition, the thrust would have built up to almost 90% of the desired thrust. So what is done is, in the ground, they try to check the performance of the engine by looking at the chamber pressure, and if the chamber pressure of all the liquid strap-ons are found to be okay, they progress with the next activity, which is another very important activity called as the release of the launch hold release system, LHRS. This particular system is the one which is responsible for holding the launcher on the launch pad.
जी हाँ, इस समय आप मिशन कंट्रोल सेंटर के अंदर का दृश्य देख पा रहे हैं। शायर के डायरेक्टर, चेयरमैन इसरो के श्री किरण कुमार सर, और बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है दोस्तों ये बातें जो अभी राधाकृष्णन जी ने शेयर की, कि चारों स्ट्रैप-ऑन्स जो होते हैं जी हाँ, ये पूर्व चेयरमैन इसरो के राधाकृष्णन जी हैं, डॉक्टर सुरेश सर हैं जो साथ में बैठे हुए हैं। इस समय हम करीब 2 मिनट की दूरी पर हैं। एक और बहुत महत्वपूर्ण, आपको याद होगा कि जब जनवरी 2014 में हमने GSLV D5 से GSAT 14 को प्रक्षेपित किया था, उसका भार 1982 किलोग्राम था, 1982 किलो। और आज जब GSLV D6 से GSAT 6 का प्रक्षेपण किया जा रहा है तो इसका भार 2117 किलोग्राम है, माने लगभग 135 किलोग्राम अधिक। तो आइए इस विषय पर चर्चा करते हैं राधाकृष्णन जी की इतने महीनों में, लगभग 19 महीनों में 135 किलोग्राम अधिक, ये महत्वपूर्ण बात है।
Yes, Alok, you're right. I think if you look back the last mission of GSLV, which was GSLV D5 with GSAT 14, the spacecraft from 1982, and now the capacity in the next flight itself has been increased by almost 135 kilograms. So there has been definitely some payload improvement packages that have been adopted for this GSLV D6 flight. And one of the very important thing that I have come across is the major change has been the optimization of the mass, overall mass of the cryogenic upper stage, basically the dry mass, which amounted to almost 60 to 70 kg performance improvement over its earlier flight, the GSLV D5. So in addition to this mass optimization, which is generally a continuous process as we go through the development of any particular launch vehicle, I think this process has been adopted by optimizing at the relevant elements. So countdown is at minus 57 seconds.
इस समय आप स्क्रीन पे VSSC के डायरेक्टर, इसरो के चेयरमैन, शार के डायरेक्टर और LPSC के डायरेक्टर के, और इस समय देख पा रहे हैं कि आइजैक के सेंटर डायरेक्टर, सभी को बड़े ध्यान से चीजों को देख पाते हुए इस समय हम करीब 29 सेकंड की दूरी पर। तो आप काउंटडाउन के साथ हमारे अपने दिल को, धड़कनों को थामिए, हम भी शांत आपके लिए प्रतीक्षा करते हैं।
programs activated.
Trios is ready.
Roger. Minus 25 seconds.
Yes to BSPP open.
Minus 20 seconds.
Ignition arms on 4GS1.
15 seconds.
L40 accumulator charging completed.
10, 9, 8,
Please cut off normal.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6, plus 7, plus 8, plus 9, plus 10 seconds,
R2 tracking. B2 tracking. Tracking.
plus 15 seconds,
Master stage performance normal.
plus 20 seconds, plus 25 seconds, plus 30 seconds, plus 35 seconds, plus 40 seconds, plus 45 seconds, plus 50 seconds,
First stage performance normal.
plus 55 seconds, plus 1 minute,
SHAR 1 in main auto.
short 2 in main auto,
In view of the mission control center, the executives very closely
B2
looking at
changes out to SCPT2.
the plots, the plots of the L40 strap-on pressure type curve, the S139 motor, and here is the plot of the ground trace. So 100 seconds into the flight, then very shortly we will be having the burnout of the solid motor.
S139
Yes,
burn out.
S139 has burnt out, and it is now the 4 liquid strap-ons which are basically lifting the entire launcher and going through the next
Plus
phase
2
of
minutes.
activities. Another important event that is going to come up subsequently will be the shut-off of the 4 liquid strap-on motors, followed by ignition of the second stage, and then we'll have the flight of the second stage and the cryogenic stage. So right now we are at 132 seconds. Performance looking very nominal. Vehicle at 61 kilometers and velocity of almost 2 kilometer per second.
जी हाँ, लगभग हम 143 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत करते हुए 2.34 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड की गति प्राप्त कर चुके हैं और करीब 142 22 किलोमीटर के परास पर।
So GS1, GS2 separation, GS2 has ignited, and vehicle is going through the second stage of flight now.
प्रथम चरण जो
165
है
seconds.
वो अलग हो चुका है और द्वितीय चरण जो है प्रज्वलित होके निश्चित रूप से अपने गंतव्य की ओर। आप देख पा रहे होंगे कि अनुमानित और अवलोकित पथ दोनों एक दूसरे को
Plus
लगातार
3 minutes.
अनुसरित करते हुए, इसका मतलब यह है कि हमारा जो रॉकेट है, हमारा जो प्रमोचन यान है, वो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण पथ अवलोकित करता हुआ, आलोकित करता हुआ एक साथ GSAT-6 को लेके आगे बढ़ रहा है और हम बहुत नजदीक पहुंच चुके हैं एक महत्वपूर्ण चरण के इस समय।
So what you're seeing on your screen is the time versus altitude plot and the velocity plot. I think very close match with the pre-flight predictions. The events after the L40 shutoff happened so fast. You know, you have the L40 shutoff, you have the GS1, GS2 separation, followed by vented interface separation, and then the closed loop guidance initiation. All these events happen within a matter of 4 to 5 seconds. So right now the vehicle is going through the closed loop guidance
Field shield
algorithm.
separated.
The payload fairing has just been separated at 230 seconds, and the vehicle has almost crossed the dense atmospheric
Plus
phase,
4
and the
minutes.
altitude is around 115 kilometers.
जी हाँ, लगभग 230 सेकंड के बाद हीट शील्ड सेपरेशन, उसमें सुरक्षा
Second stage
कवर जो था
performance
उसका
normal.
पृथक्करण हो चुका है उसका, और इस समय जो उपग्रह है वो सीधे एक्सपोज हो चुका है एनवायरनमेंट के लिए। और ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है क्योंकि इस समय सीधा जो भार है, जो ऊष्मी लोड है, वो सीधा सीधा ऊष्मी भार जो है वो उपग्रह पर आपतित होता है।
So very, very close match, time versus altitude. What you're seeing on your screen, the red one is the altitude profile, and which is covered by very closely by the flight data that we are getting from the launcher, from the telemetry system. And the top curve is basically the velocity curve, very close match with respect to the pre-flight flight. So right now the time is 279 seconds. Almost the vehicle has traversed a range of 550 kilometers, altitude 130. Very shortly we should hear the announcement for, yes, GS2 shut-off command has been issued.
GS2
The second
separated.
stage has been separated, and
Third
cryogenic
stage is command.
stage
Plus 5
ignition
minutes.
command has been given.
जी हाँ, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण क्षण, बहुत महत्वपूर्ण क्षण जब क्रायोजेनिक जो
Stage ignition
इंजन था
confirmed.
उसे इग्नाइट कर दिया गया है
So
और ये कंफर्म
cryogenic-
हो चुका है।
Cryogenic ignition has been confirmed.
ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है, जो द्वितीय चरण जो है उसके शट ऑफ होने के बाद, बंद हो जाने के बाद में तृतीय चरण के कमांड प्रज्वलन के कमांड कर देने के बाद कंफर्म आना, और इसके
Cryo
बाद
stage performance
ये
normal.
लगभग अगर हम माने तो 718 सेकंड तक प्रज्वलन चलेगा। बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है ये, इसलिए इसरो के लिए ये चरण निश्चित रूप से अपने आप में एक आने वाले समय के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होगा।
So this is a very important announcement we just heard. The cryogenic stage performance normal. This is what we have been waiting for from the last launch to the now. And if you look at the time instant and the velocity and the altitude plots, very closely matching, which basically indicates the acceleration of the cryogenic stage
Plus
has
6
been
minutes.
progressing exactly as per the plan.
राधाकृष्ण जी, हम आज समूचे देश के साथ इस प्रमोचन यान से संबंधित एक और विशेष जानकारी बांटना चाहेंगे। आपने कई बार सुना होगा दर्शकों कि हम स्वदेशी तकनीक से विकसित क्रायोजेनिक इंजन का उपयोग करते हैं। ये चरण इसलिए इतना जटिल और तकनीक रूप से महत्वपूर्ण है क्योंकि जिन द्रव गैसों का इस्तेमाल हम ईंधन के रूप में करते हैं, उनका भंडारण, उनके नियंत्रण व सुनियोजित प्रवाह के लिए प्रयुक्त विधि व यंत्र, उसमें उपयोग में लाए गए पदार्थ और उनके गुणधर्म बेहद जटिल और गहन अध्ययन और अनवरत प्रायोगिक अनुभव चाहते हैं। हाइड्रोजन को लगभग -253 और ऑक्सीजन को -193 डिग्री सेल्सियस के तापक्रम पर संचित किया जाता है। क्या हम यान के प्रक्षेपण के साथ ही कोई विशेष तैयारी करते हैं? What preparation do we require before cryoignition right from the first stage, Radhakrishnan ji? This
Yeah.
is very important.
Alok, thank you very much. I think before I just explain the remaining portion of the flight, I would just like to inform the viewers.
Cryo stage performance normal.
The
Plus
second
7
stage, the
minutes.
cryogenic stage, burns for almost 720 seconds. The flight time is now 420. And if you can see on the screen, the velocity imparted to the vehicle is almost 5.37. The nominal orbit for this mission is the GT orbit, geosynchronous transfer orbit, where the perigee will be 170 kilometers, and we would require something like 10.2 kilometer per second velocity to be imparted to the satellite to place it in an GTO orbit of say 170 by 36,000. Just coming back to question of Alok, you are right. I think cryogenic stage, because of the extremely low temperature conditions, the handling of the cryogenic stage, both on the launch pad and otherwise during the flight, is a very complex phenomena. So if you look at the sequence of operation that the cryogenic stage goes through, even during the first stage flight, only 90 seconds into the flight of the first stage, almost for 200 seconds before the actual cryogenic stage is ignited, it goes through a series of preparations during the first stage flights itself. Basically trying to bring the cryogenic stage at an instant where it is ready to ignite, where the lines are being depressurized, serviced, and brought to the conditions where it is ready for ignition. So it's a very complex technology by itself because of the low temperature handling conditions, which is not the case when you're talking about earth storable or solid propellants in bike.
जी जी इनफैक्ट हमें लगभग जो वेलोसिटी है उसको जो वेग कमान है लगभग 9.779 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड प्राप्त करना है और जो ऊंचाई प्राप्त करनी है वो 214.35 किलोमीटर प्राप्त करनी है जो हमें लगभग प्रज्वलन के 17 मिनट के बाद हासिल होगी। इस समय हम लगभग 8 मिनट 45 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत कर चुके हैं और जो हमारा अवलोकित पथ है यान का जो अभी लगातार अपने गंतव्य की ओर बढ़ता हुआ निश्चित रूप से आप देख पा रहे होंगे अनुमानित जो पथ था उसका अनुसरण करते हुए लगातार आगे बढ़ रहा है। हम लगभग 542.5 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत करते हुए 5.89 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का गति प्राप्त कर चुके हैं और इस समय हम 1960 किलोमीटर पर आस पर हैं और ऊंचाई 145 किलोमीटर प्राप्त कर चुके हैं जैसा आप देख पा रहे होंगे।
Yes, 560 seconds. Velocity is almost 6 kilometer per second, and the vehicle has traveled a range of almost 2,000 kilometer. Now, if you look at the cryogenic stage, which burns for almost 720 seconds, out of the 720 seconds, it operates in a kind of slightly thrust augmented mode, which is basically required to increase the overall capability of the launcher. So in the first 425 seconds, the thrust is augmented by 11% from its nominal thrust of 7.5 tons. And this augmentation of the thrust is the one which is responsible for delivering a heavier payload into the desired orbit. So right now, the cryogenic stage is going through the operated mode. Maybe in another 200 seconds, the thrust will be brought back to the nominal conditions where it will continue to burn for the next 200 to 300 seconds in a thrust of 7.5 tons. In fact, this kind of profile of thrust operating for a particular duration and coming down to a nominal thrust is desired based on the mission design.
हाँ, ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है कि हमको किस तरह का अभियान चाहिए, किस तरह का इंक्लिनेशन चाहिए, किस तरह का जो वेग वेक्टर है वो चाहिए। इसलिए उसी दिशा में इस तरह के जो अभियान होते हैं उनके जो पैरामीटर्स हैं उनके जो प्रादर्श हैं उन्हें तैयार किया जाता है। इनफैक्ट बहुचरण आधारित यान के विभिन्न चरणों को उनके उपयोग हो जाने के बाद मुख्य यान से अलग कर दिया जाता है। जैसे आपने देखा प्रथम चरण द्वितीय चरण से सेपरेशन या द्वितीय चरण का तृतीय चरण से सेपरेशन, ये जो पृथक्करण है ये बेहद आवश्यक है कि वो सुरक्षित हों और संघट्ट मुक्त हों। ये पृथक्करण घटनाएं अभियान के लिए बेहद नाजुक होती हैं, इसलिए इनकी अभिकल्पना पर सबसे ज्यादा ध्यान देकर इन्हें साफ सुथरा संतुलित व सख्त बनाया जाता है। GSLV D6 में ऐसी कुल 4 पृथक्करण घटनाएं हैं। अभीष्ट कक्षा में पहुंचने के बाद जो GSAT-6 उपग्रह यान है उसे अंतिम तिथि चरण से अलग कर दिया जाएगा। ये करीब करीब समझ लीजिए हमें 16 मिनट 52 सेकंड लगेगा जब क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज बंद किया जाएगा और उसके करीब 7-8 सेकंड्स के बाद में जो GSLV-6 है उसे अलग किया जाएगा। हम इस समय 11 मिनट 40 सेकंड का समय व्यतीत कर चुके हैं और 5-6 मिनट हमें और लगेगा यान को फाइनल डेटा देने के लिए जब हम GSAT-6 को उसके पैरामीटर्स के हिसाब से यान से अलग कर पाएंगे।
Thank you, Alok. The time is 7:14 seconds, another 300 seconds to go. Nominally, if you look at the flight sequence, we have the cryogenic stage, upper stage cutoff coming at 1010 seconds. So we are 300 seconds away from the actual burnout of the cryogenic stage. Thrust has been brought down to the nominal from 11% augmentation to nominal thrust of 7.5 tons. And in terms of velocity, as you can see here, relative velocity, which is 7.16. In fact, if you look at the inertial velocity, which is nothing but the earth contribution of the rotation added to the relative velocity could be another 0.5 meter per second extra. So right now the initial velocity is something like 7.7 kilometer per second, and the two plots on your screen, the bottom one, the altitude profile, it's a, if you look at the GSLV altitude profile, it's a very shallow trajectory going at a very low altitude before it finally gets into a very high altitude of around something like 220 kilometers to meet the perigee of 170 kilometers. So view of the mission control center. I think I'm sure all the executives will be very closely monitoring the performance of the cryogenic stage. So far the altitude profile and most importantly the velocity profile has been very precise based on the pre-flight predictions.
अच्छा राधाकृष्ण जी, ये भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है, जैसा हम अपने स्क्रीन पे देख पा रहे हैं कि ट्रैकिंग मोड्स जो होते हैं, जब यान शार से प्रक्षेपित कर दिया जाता है तो उसके बाद राडार 1, 2 इनको ट्रैक करते रहते हैं. उसके बाद इस समय जो पोर्ट ब्लेयर और जो वहाँ के शार के जो राडार हैं वो स्टैंड बाई मोड में आ गए हैं, जबकि सिंगापुर और ब्रुनोई के जो ट्रैकिंग वो राडार्स हैं वो ऑटो मोड में आ गए हैं. इसके बाद बायाक के जो सेंटर्स हैं, ग्राउंड स्टेशंस हैं, वो हमारे यान को प्रोग्रामेबल मोड में ट्रैक करते रहेंगे. ये बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है ताकि आप यान को सुरक्षित उनका पथ अपने ऑब्जर्व कर सकें.
Yes, very right, Alok. I think maybe as the mission is an eastward mission going all the way at 104 or 105 degree azimuth, there are several ground stations that are put in the loop to monitor the various stage flight events depending on the visibility. So as you can notice here, we have ground station located at Shar, we have ground station located at Port Blair, Singapore, Brunei and Biak. Biak is the station which basically sees the final stage of cryogenic and also the satellite separation. This is a station which gives confirmation of the successful burnout of the cryogenic stage and the satellite separation. So 867 seconds, 8.25 kilometer, 1 more kilometer velocity addition is awaited. The vehicle has almost moved by 4,200 kilometers from Shar and it is at an altitude of 150 kilometers.
जी हाँ, लगभग हम 8.4 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का वेग प्राप्त कर चुके हैं. हमें प्राप्त करना है लगभग 9.785 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड का, और हम इस समय श्रीहरिकोटा से यान की जो दूरी है वो लगभग 4,366 किलोमीटर की.
The vehicle has, I just wanted to inform Alok that the vehicle has almost is reached the orbital velocity. So basically to get into orbit, you may be aware we require something like 7 kilometer plus velocity before it gets into it attains the orbital conditions. So I just had a screenshot which was just displayed a minute ago, which showed the satellite is already in a perigee of 150 kilometer by apogee of around 8,000. So now onwards what happens in the next 100 seconds of flight, it will be the addition that will be going on in the apogee. So you will find gradually the apogee is going to get increased from 10,000 to something like 36,000 when actually the command for cutting off the upper stage is released.
जी हाँ, हमें करीब पेरेजी 170 किलोमीटर की और एपोजी 35,975 किलोमीटर की प्राप्त करनी होती है, एक दीर्घवृत्तीय कक्षा. और उसके बाद उपग्रह में लगा हुआ लिक्विड एपोजी मोटर लैम जो है वो स्वतः ही उपग्रह को अनेक चरणों में सीधे 36,000 किलोमीटर की जीएसओ कक्षा में ले जाएगा, भूतुल्यकालिक कक्षा में ले जाएगा. इसरो के चेयरमैन श्री किरण कुमार सर, शिवन सर, सोमनाथन जी, डॉक्टर अन्नादुरई, मोहनलाल सर, सभी बड़ी बेसब्री से इस चरण के निष्पादन को देखते हुए.
Another 20-30 seconds to go into the flight. The vehicle is already attained the perigee of 160 kilometers, apogee of 24,000, another 12,000 kilometer apogee to be attained. But as I was telling Alok, the apogee addition, every increment in velocity increases apogee very drastically. Before I mentioned 23, now it is almost as 30,000. Maybe another 10 seconds to go for the flight before the actual cutoff command is issued. Okay, GS2 shutoff command has been issued and the satellite is in 170 by 35,945. Exactly as per the pre-flight conditions, and the inclination attitude is 19.96 as against the pre-flight. And GSAT-6 satellite has been successfully separated. We just not got the confirmation. So very happy moment in the Mission Control Center.
This is Mission Director. Spacecraft separation is confirmed and GSLV D6 GSAT-6 mission is accomplished.
जी हाँ, अभी आपने व्हीकल डायरेक्टर की घोषणा सुनी। बहुत महत्वपूर्ण घोषणा, उपग्रह को यान से पृथक किया जा चुका है और इस सारे प्रसारण तक आप हमारे साथ बने रहे, इसके लिए हम आपके आभारी हैं। इस समय हम अभियान नियंत्रण के एमसीसी के अंदर बिखरे उत्साह और क्रायोजेनिक इंजन की इस नई बहुप्रतीक्षित उपलब्धि में शामिल होने के लिए हम आपको सीधे वहीं लिए चलते हैं। आप देख पाएंगे विभिन्न संबोधन जो इसरो के वरिष्ठ वैज्ञानिक देश को देंगे।
Thank you very much, Alok. With this wonderful feeling of success and very proud moment for the entire ISRO community, myself Radhakrishnan and my colleague Sri Alok, we are signing off from the Mission Control Center in Sriharikota. We go back straight to the MCC, where Chairman ISRO will be giving his address to them.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। नमस्कार, जय हिंद।
Good afternoon to all of you. Today we have demonstrated that what happened on January 5th of 2014 was no fluke. It is a result of the tremendous amount of hard work put in by the entire team to build in an indigenous cryo engine. And today's performance of the launch vehicle clearly demonstrates that all the systems have been performing very normally, and the various intricacies of the cryogenic engine performance and the systems have been understood. I now request Uma Maheshwaran, the mission director for this particular mission, to say a few words.
My dear fellow citizens of India, today ISRO has offered to the nation an Onam gift, an appropriate Onam gift, a magnificent, handsome and reliable launch vehicle with our own indigenous cryostage, a made in India cryostage, capable of carrying 2 to 2.5 ton class of spacecrafts. As Chairman ISRO told, February 5, 2014 was a golden day in ISRO's history when the maiden success of GSLV with the indigenous cryostage was achieved, and its performance was phenomenal. Hence, the onus was on us to maintain the standards set by that launch. And when we see the quick look results, this mission has achieved equally well the orbit. On February 5th, the then mission director, Dr. Shivan, told that the naughty boy of ISRO has been tamed. Today, my friends, I am really proud to say that this naughty boy has been transformed to the most adored boy of ISRO. And that has been made possible by the awesome and the fantastic team effort by all of you, Team ISRO. So let me take this opportunity to express our sincere gratitude to Team ISRO, cutting across the entire centers. Let me thank our beloved chairman, who stood behind us like a solid rock, without whose guidance and directives this launch could not have been achieved. Thank you, sir. I also would like to thank the center directors, the former chairman, former center directors, and all the seniors who had in the various review forums like MRR, FRR, etc., had reviewed the progress of the mission and cajoled and guided us in the right path. This has been indeed a remarkable journey. There has been many instances of exemplary team efforts, like the 24/7 effort taken by the IPRC integration team along with the CUS team and the LPSC team in realizing the cryostage, the CUS project for giving us a beautiful CUS stage, the awesome professionalism, teamwork of SHARP team, especially the 33 days of realization of the cryostage at Technical Complex, the MEIT team who always rose to the occasion, the SRO, VSSC, LPSC and IPRC, IASU, who are always there as an omnipresent in roles, the various centers, the various entities of the centers in VSSC, LPSC, IPRC and ISU, who have always been ready to sacrifice to meet the project schedules. I can go on and on. I will also like to express my sincere gratitude to the entire ISRO family, who, let me say, have happily sacrificed to meet our cause. I also thank my own project team, who have sacrificed everything to achieve this great success. This has indeed been a great personal moment for me, and I thank my family also for bearing with me. I have very fond memories of my friend, philosopher and guide, and our dear colleague, Sri Manoj Kumar, the chief architect of system integration of this GSLV vehicle, who is no longer with us. Before concluding, let me also say that Chairman ISRO has already given us the date for the next launch, and as you all know, our chairman never changes the dates. So let me assure you, sir, that with this fantastic team ISRO, we will be back here for the next launch by April for a possible launch of June, July for next GSLV launch. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Now I request previous project director Shivan, who has now taken over as the director of VSSC, to say a few words.
My dear friends, across ISRO centers, the indigenous GSLV with indigenous cryo stage passed the Agni Pariksha with flying colors and entered majestically into the operational phase. GSLV D6 is very important for the GSLV program. Mainly, this particular mission essentially demonstrate the robustness of the vehicle to get the operational status flag that we got. This astounding success is a result of the hard work by the entire team ISRO spread across all the centers, along with the realization of the quality and reliable product, stage and systems to make this mission a fantastic success. The credit must goes to all the team members. In fact, the amount of the time taken for realizing the stage and vehicle and making it happen in the shortest time really shows the professional way we are working to achieve the repeated mission success. The credit must goes to the entire team ISRO. I congratulate and compliment the entire team for the wonderful work. As the mission director said, this is the best Onam gift the team ISRO is giving to team ISRO. That is the best part of that. And each and every team member of ISRO can be proud of this mission. And he, as mission director said, we are already worked out a very clear plan for next 1 year. And we are going to come once again for next month, almost the same day, for PSLV launch. And let me wish to all the employees of ISRO a very, very happy Onam on this August occasion. Thank you, sir.
Now we have another project director who has taken over as the director of SDSC SHAR, Shri Kunni Krishnan.
The second consecutive successful mission of GSLV with indigenous cryo engine has established confidence in our prowess in the area of cryogenic technology. This mission has projected GSLV as a candidate to become an operational launcher of ISRO and also as a potential competitor to our own workhorse PSLV. It was only a month ago we all had assembled here after the PSLV C-28 mission with 5 UK satellites, and ISRO has come out with one more successful launch today. Yet another mission, PSLV C-30 with Astrosat, as declared by Chairman ISRO, will be launched in one month's time, and the activities for that is going on in parallel with GSLV D6 in the first launch pad. With this increased number of launches, Satish Dhawan Space Center is catapulting into a busy spaceport of India. As a nodal agency of launch vehicle assembly and integration, SHAR has been concurrently associating with a conglomeration of ISRO projects, both satellites and launch vehicles. As the final preparation for this mission has kept us on our toes throughout, and I would like to acknowledge the entire SHAR team, specifically in sustaining their sincere effort and their dedication. This magnificent success today is a result of ISRO's team spirit and the synergy. The well-concerted efforts of our mission executives, along with all the system development agencies from across the centers and units of ISRO, has resulted in today's successful launch. I congratulate the entire ISRO community for making a well-crafted launch. Let's all look forward to see that our very own indigenous GSLV emerges as an operational launch vehicle of ISRO and meeting the increased communication demands of our country. Thank you.
We have the project director of GSLV Mark III, who is now taken over as the LPSC director, Shri Somnath.
Respected Chairman ISRO and all my ISRO colleagues, the success of Custage and also the GSLV is a result of a painstaking effort of generations. As all of you know, mastering the cryogenic technology has taken us many years. But today, when we stand here and enjoy the success of this GSLV in its second flight, successful indigenous cryogenic stage flight, we understand that we have really mastered the technology of cryogenics engineering, and we will be in a position to continuously produce and launch GSLVs in larger numbers, in much more increased launch rates. And this knowledge and the expertise that we have gathered will also take us forward in developing much powerful cryogenic stages, which we already own. As you all know, that C-25 stage, and the engine development is right on the track. And we have all the tests done so far has resulted in a very successful engine test program. So it is not a chance, as Chairman ISRO has told in the beginning. It is coming out of our ability to understand and master the technology. Let me congratulate the entire GSLV family who have put their work and effort behind this great success. And the confidence that we got from this launch will convert this GSLV into an operational launch vehicle. I am sure the GSLV team will come here again as promised in the next July for the next launch. It is not for that type of rates that we are going to have. Chairman ISRO has put a much tighter demand on us to reach 2 launches of GSLV per year, when we are increasing our launch rates of PSLV to 6 almost in the coming years to come. I am sure that we together, the entire ISRO family, can achieve such a great feast in the years ahead. And let me take this opportunity to congratulate ourselves, the entire ISRO family, for this fantastic success. And let me wish a happy Harvest Festival in different parts of this country, and also Raksha Bandhan all over India. Thank you so much.
Now we have another new director who has taken over at IPRC, Shri Rakesh.
Respected Chairman ISRO and my dear colleagues, this is indeed a momentous occasion And this is made possible by the efforts by a generation of scientists and engineers, our elders who have shown us the path and who toiled hard even during the development of this stage and made this possible. Let me congratulate all of you, all Team ISRO, for this wonderful Onam gift. I also take this opportunity to thank all the participating industries and other agencies who have contributed to this success. Let me also take this opportunity to remember the unstinting efforts made by IPRC staff who toiled hard day and night for readying the CUS stage and also GS2 stage to make this launch on time, on schedule. Thank you.
While the launch vehicle team now can relax and rejoice, we have the satellite team which is now required to see that the satellite is put into the right orbit. Now I request Annadurai, who has taken over as the new director at ISRO Satellite Center.
Chairman ISRO, the entire colleagues of ISRO, seeing this telecast from the various ISRO centers across India, the whole of Indians across breadth and length and breadth of India, as well as globally looking here, I think the team ISRO has once again done it. And while congratulating the launch vehicle team, we know that no adjective can tell the play in which the textbook launch is going through. And having seen that, what next? Definitely the road ahead. Chairman has already laid out. The years to come, we have to double, even triple the number of satellites to go to the orbit. 28 satellites are doing their service. I think now the asking rate is nearly, I think we are talking about nearly 10 satellites per year, not the years to come. I think starting from this year, that is to go. At this, even this particular launch, fairly good number of industries are part of it. I think when we are trying to, Team ISRO is trying to go for the doubling or tripling the number of satellites launch, it cannot be done by ISRO team alone. It calls for good number of industries and the entrepreneurs to be part of it. This particular launch, textbook launch, probably to inspire not only the Team ISRO, the Team India, inspire them to be part of Team ISRO to make India not assets to be available in the space and not only make our presence felt over India, globally also there is a fairly good chance GSLV shown. I think this should give way for the whole of Team India to arise and pave the way to go ahead much faster speed. Thank you very much.
और वो भी सफलता का क्या शानदार सफलता, जैसे प्रेडिक्ट किया गया था ऐसे ही इसका परफॉर्मेंस थी। और आज और एक चीज़ भी बड़ी चीज़ हुई, आज एक जो सैटेलाइट छोड़ा गया वो 6 मीटर का एंटेना लिया और ये अनफॉलेबल एंटेना देश पे बनाए हुए पहली बार एंटेना है। और ये भी एक नई चीज़ और ये नई शुरुआत एस बैंड पे संवाद स्थापन करने के लिए और वो हैंडहेल्ड इंस्ट्रूमेंट से संभव होगा। और मैं आशा करता हूँ इसरो का ये साफल्य बरकरार रहे और मेरे समस्त सहकर्मी बिंदु को मैं प्रशंसा करता हूँ जे उनके और उनका पूर्वजों के जो साधना का तपस्या का फल आज मिली। धन्यवाद।
Now we have Prakash Rao, the project director for the satellite.
Respected Chairman ISRO, Center Directors, senior members from ISRO community, and dear friends, at the outset, I would like to heartily congratulate and profusely thank the GSLV D6 launch vehicle team who are here for the flawless performance and taking our bird GSAT-6 spacecraft into its intended orbit. On behalf of entire spacecraft team, I would once again express our immense thanks to the launch vehicle team. While the launch vehicle has accomplished its mission for the spacecraft team, to recall a line from a poem, दूर होती जा रही है कल्पना, पास आती रही है जिंदगी. The spacecraft carries a unique technology element, the unfurlable antenna, whose deployment will be carried out on 30th August after performing few critical orbit raising maneuvers. As such, already the solar panels have deployed and the spacecraft is generating the power, and the unfurlable antenna primary hold down is cut, so all the operations are going smooth on the spacecraft side. The antenna, when it is folded, measures about 400 mm in diameter and 2.6 meters in length, and after deployments from both technical and non-technical disciplines, I consider it as my duty to thank my Associate Project Director, Spacecraft, Sri Vinamnathan, Payload, Sri Praveen Bharadwaj, and Chief Designer of UFA, he is here behind, and Sri N. Vishwanatha, and Program Director, Geosat, Sri Anjanelu, for all the guidance in the realization of the spacecraft. Several people ask sometimes to me what it is like to work in ISRO. I would like to share a small... Okay. To share with me what is it like to work in ISRO. So I would just like to narrate a small real story, it really happened, to explain the same. Once a young taxi driver was there, he was picking me up after the night shift to home. And in the course of conversation, I came to know that he was working for an MNC and he was getting double the salary for that. So then I asked him, how you have left that lucrative job and come back to ISRO? He told, sir, ISRO is like a temple, and I wanted to just work for 1 month here and go back. But after 45 days, I have seen that he has come back, still he was in the shift. I asked him why you are still there. Then he told, sir, actually I was about to go, then the spacecraft thermovac test started. At this phase of project, I do not want to leave you alone and go because the project will suffer. This is the type of spirit and the work environment that is provided in the ISRO. And I would like to thank all our senior management for having inculcated and continued such a culture and sustained. Thank you, sir.
Just now we received the call from PM's office, and Prime Minister has congratulated the entire ISRO team for the wonderful work it has done, and he has greeted the ISRO team on behalf of the country. Let me thank once again the entire ISRO team for the wonderful work it has done and the wonderful work it continues to do to meet the requirements of our country. Thank you very much.